Yeah, 5:30 a.m. sunrises in the middle of a cornfield. They're pretty. Doesn't mean I want to see it. Alright, it's worth it, if you say so. Finally, ready to pull this gun out. My timing was off a little bit this morning. I was about 15 minutes early getting here, which isn't a huge deal, but I could have slept another 15 more minutes, so oh well. This is the shortest pull of the field, I'm pretty sure, or either the shortest or the second shortest, so this one's only maybe a 3-hour pull. We'll be back up here again, and then we move down to our last lane on the north end of this field. We got 2 more pulls down there, and then we go either back where we started or clear to the end, and yeah, I don't know, we'll see, but gotta finish these up. This is the sandier part of the field is on this end. This ground, especially this pull right here, some of the driest stuff out here, so it needs the water. Right now, all of this corn looks really, really good, but it's morning. It's not the heat of the sun in the middle of the day rolling it up like we know that it does. So we're still, I mean, we need to be watering here, but we're not total disaster situation just yet. And like this morning is really, really nice because it got cool. I don't know what the temperature is, but I'm a little chilly and just wearing my t-shirt, so that's good for the corn. Gives it a chance to breathe and rest and not be stressed all day. All right, well, I went home for a while, got the boys up, came back, sat in front of the computer. I'm tired. Anyway, the Traveler's going to be done pretty soon because it was a short pull, so we got about 45 minutes. We need to get fuel up there for the generator, so I'm going to go ahead and load that up. We'll go up there. We're going to be moving to the very end of the pipe run there, so we got a little bit of, it's going to just take us a little bit longer. I want to get the 40-20, the tractor with the Traveler I want spun around, so we're going to have to take it out all the way down one of the lanes and turn around and come back, and this one's going to take a little while. Fueling. We're up to 58, 69 hours, so we put about 90 hours on it since we started watering. One thing I like to watch on the pump here when we're running, see that water dripping? There's a packing seal in there, and every couple of days I've got to come through and tighten it up. So we take my wrench, and there's a nut right here. We just snug it up a little bit. There's one on each side. We'll do a little bit on this one, a little bit on the other side, and that sort of stops it from dripping. See? And you don't want to stop it from dripping. You just want it to drip real slowly so that it gets everything lubricated. You don't want a stream of water coming out of there, but you want a nice slow drip. Bright sunshine today. You can see bottom all the way across the river. We got it a little deeper over here on this side, but for the most part, water's flowing good, and it's pretty shallow. But since the water has cleared up in the last 2 or 3 days here, we haven't had any more debris issues with it plugging up our screen there, so that's a good thing too. Let's see, how close can I get without falling in? Yeah, I could walk all the way across there and not have water over my ankles, I think. Our nurse tank is empty. We've got 150 gallons or so of fertilizer left on the injector or the pump cart there. Probably not going to be enough to finish covering the field, so we are going to get some more fertilizer. Our tanks are empty, but I talked to the supplier the other day. They thought they would have some more for me today, so we'll probably go get some more this afternoon. We are going to pull that tank home with us now, though. Well, that's cool. Check out the rainbow. Nice. Moving down to the last lane in the field here. It's the first lane. I don't know, whatever. It's the last one on this end of the field, so we got to go back to the other end. So I do not want to pull the 40-20 straight into the corn on the other side, so I want to get it spun around. The only way to do that is to make a right-hand turn, go all the way out to the ditch, the filter strip, spin it around and come back, and then head back towards where we're going, which we need to get turned around to go that way anyway, so we can drive back to the other end of the field after we make these 2 pulls. Not quite a full pull, but close. Did you guys enjoy that? All right, let's see what we got, and then we'll start up our pump. Figure out how long this one's gonna take. I am afraid. Ooh, I don't like that. There, that ought to be fine. 1,060 feet. I'm afraid that I'm gonna have 2 short pulls overnight again tonight, so I'm trying to avoid that somehow. Okay, pump is up and running. This is a 9-hour pull. It'll be done around 7:30 tonight. So we've got the afternoon off to go work on something else. And then we've got the short pull going the other way. And I should look at last year's notes and see how long it is, but I'm guessing it's going to be a 4-hour pull, 4.5. So if I can start it at 8, that puts us at midnight again. And then we've got to make the big move at midnight, which is going to suck. Or I shut her down and come back tomorrow morning and do it. That might happen. That might happen. We'll see. I've got a couple of growers really, but one particular that I need to go pick up some boxes from. So we're gonna go do that, grab some lunch while we're out. We'll come back and find something to work on. Boxes from my dairy farm friends here. Okay, we are back. Got the boys for the afternoon. No, don't open that.
What is it?
It's something to put on soybeans. Chemical. Somebody's giving me to try. Anyway, the box that I have been waiting for is here. Farm HQ. I don't know if that's their company's name or what. Yep, this is our monitoring system. Farm HQ by Coda Farm Technologies. They are the company that makes the monitor for hard hose travelers. So I'm gonna figure this stuff out. I don't know if we'll get up to installing it today or not, but we're gonna put this on ASAP, and then I will explain it as we go, kind of thing. Look like we got some sensors. This looks like a pressure sensor. We've got cabling. This is a magnetic sensor. I'm guessing these are some magnets that I'm guessing we have to put around the outside of the reel. Let me open it up. Okay, well, there's not a lot here to it, but this stuff is going to make my life so much easier. So this is the control, or the brain box, I guess. And we need to mount this on the Traveler. This looks like a power cable, so we got to find power somewhere. That's going to be the hard part on the pump side. We got to find 12-volt power. Okay, well, we'll make it work. And I think we need 12-volt power. I don't know. Switch. I don't know what that does. We're going to have to do a little reading. May have to scan that thing to figure out how this installs and everything. But essentially, we mount one of these to the Traveler. We mount one of them to the pump. We've got pressure sensors. We've got some control wires, I think. We've got the magnetic sensor, another pressure sensor, and it will tell us where it's at in the field and whether it's moving, and it will shut the pump off when we need it to shut the pump off and do lots of cool stuff for us. So we're going to figure this out and try and get it installed. Maybe we'll do this afternoon. All right, we are going to get back to that stuff that came there pretty quick. It's going to be pretty awesome. Well, it's going to be a little bit of an involved installation process here, but we're going to try and do some later this afternoon. We need some more fertilizer though, and so we're going to take this truck and go get some ATS and 28 ammonium thiosulfate and some 28% nitrogen. I need the tanks empty though. They've got water in them from the last time we were spraying when we were doing that Liberty and stuff, and it's full of algae, which is why it's green. So I'm draining them because I don't want that in my fertilizer. I need straighten stuff. So we're draining these tanks off, and then we'll go get our fertilizer. 4-inch fill straight in the lid. It's faster. This is the same place we get our anhydrous tanks from. I asked them if they still had tanks moving. They said there's a few guys still going, but everybody's done at this point. So sounds like most everybody's wrapping things up for the spring work. All right, so let's look at this stuff here a little bit more. We've got this. This is the brain box, I guess you want to call it that. We've got to mount this to the Traveler. We've got to mount one of these to the pump. And then what sensors and what you plug into it kind of dictates what it does. The one for the pump, which is this box, has a control, which we will connect into the control circuit for the pump, and it will shut the pump down if the Traveler stops turning. It'll receive a signal from the other one that we're going to mount on the Traveler. It also has a pressure sensor. I assume it will shut the pump down if we have a loss in pressure. So yeah, that's good. And we've got to install that. Now we've got to figure out how we're going to install this, because we have a pressure sensor line up there, but we don't have. We're going to need a T or something in that system. Actually, well, maybe we could just remove that other pressure gauge and put this one in its place. Maybe we'll have to look at that. The other one here, this is for the Traveler. This and this are the same. The difference is this kit that comes with it for the Traveler. So we have another pressure sensor, and again, we're going to need a T. We're going to end up with 3 pressure sensors on our Traveler inlet there, which is fine, whatever. And then this is the magnetic sensors and the magnets in here, clearly magnets, that we put around the reel. And as the reel turns, this sensor senses those magnets so that it knows A, that it's turning, and B, how fast it's turning, so it can track where it's at. As we pull the gun out, it'll record that so it knows how far it's been pulled out, all that kind of stuff. Should be really cool. I hear that there is an app that goes with this that I can download on my phone to be able to pull all this up and see it in real time as it's going. So I will be able to look at it and say, oh, hey, it's going to be done in an hour or at whatever time, and not have to go up there to check on it quite so much. You hurt yourself? Oh, you did hurt yourself. Ouch. What happened, bud?
When I went off that, then I hurt myself.
Off the porch?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you going to be okay? Yeah? Okay.
The porch on the office.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. I'll give you a full review of it after we go. I'm pretty excited about certain aspects of it. The tracking side of it, the pump shutdown when the Traveler's done side of it. There's a couple of things that I'm thinking isn't going to be the greatest and may need to be improved upon, or that they could improve upon, I guess, at least. We'll get to that when we get to it. And so first thing we've got to do is figure out how to get it installed. I'm going to need some galvanized T's to connect put these pressure sensors in. The other thing that is going to be a bit of a challenge for me is power, right? So these run on 6 to 36 volt DC power. I don't have that either at the pump or the Traveler. I wasn't thinking about the power on the pump side of it. I knew it would be an issue on the Traveler side, and my plan was just to get a 12-volt battery, car battery, and set it there and plug it in and say, hey, that'll work, that's good enough. I didn't think about it on the pump side. I have power there. That's why I thought, oh, it'll be no problem. Yeah, but my power is 480 volt 3-phase or 110 volt and not DC power that's the right voltage. And so we're going to either have to put in a power supply, yeah, it's out in the bench. I've got one that I could use, but I bought it for the grain bin project. Or we're going to have to put a battery there as well. And I have no idea how much power these things draw. I don't think they will be terrible as far as, drawing too much power. But they do sell a solar powered charger kit for charging a battery like that. I probably should have gotten 2 of them now that I see what and think about it a little bit more. But we'll just get some batteries and we'll see how they last. If we have to, we'll figure something out with a solar charger. I think they're fairly cheap, aren't they? I don't know. All right, so we got to take this sensor up. I found a fitting that fits, but it's a coupler. It does me no good. I need a T or a cross. We're going to go up to the field and see what size the fittings on the stuff that's there is, what we need to attach to see if they're all the same, or I thought those were smaller than this. I don't know. We'll see, and then we'll go get some parts. I figured while we're going, we might as well take this fertilizer tank and set it up there because, well, we're going to need it up there, so let's just take it. All right, we got our fertilizer pump or trailer parked there. I only brought about 500 or 600 gallons because we'll just do smaller trips. I'm not going to put any in until this one is empty, and this is gone, though. So what we need to figure out is how we're going to attach this pressure sensor to the pump. We've got a port right here that I use for the pressure sensor that's up here. Now that's not actually hooked to anything, and the gauge is in pretty rough shape, so I'm thinking we can just steal from there. And so what I would like to do is probably remove that one, and then we can come right off of there, and that looks like the right threads and everything to me. So all we got to do is take this line off and screw this directly into there, or I can put a coupler on it. Probably should put a coupler on it, and keep it a little bit back so it's not in the turbulent water and just pressurized. But yeah, that one should be easy. Okay, cool. And if we take that box off of there, I think if we just take this off, that gives us a really good spot to mount that Farm HQ box, the new box. And right here is the circuit that we've got to tie into. Have to take that shield off of there, but yeah, I don't know if I want to open this while this is running. Probably not a brilliant idea. Just don't touch anything. Yeah, that red wire there coming out of there, all we got to do is tie into that. We'll take this timer off and tie those wires right in there because we won't need the timer anymore. Beautiful. That's perfect. So the pump side of this, other than the 12-volt power issue, is going to be pretty easy. Well, everything still looks good down here. 19, 20. We're on the 3rd wrap. 24 should be 19, so our speed's just right. There was 2 hours and 45 minutes on the timer yet. 336 feet. We'll have to do the math there. All right, we got to figure out how to attach this sensor into this port with everything else. This T is the right size. It just leaked a little. Don't worry about it. And it's got reducers to make it smaller for the other gauges. Well, this gauge, but not this one. I still use this switch. This is the one that shuts it off if we lose water pressure so that it doesn't keep reeling itself in. So we kind of need that one. I also kind of like having this one there. So we're going to add either a T or replace that T with a cross. If I can find a cross, we'll do that. If not, we'll stack a T on top of there. All right, I went through and I attached this magnetic sensor to this arm. We're basically ready to go up to the field and start installing stuff when we get to it. I put the T on here and attached this. Oh, I better take that Teflon tape with me. We're gonna have to take one of those gauges out and thread this in, then we'll thread that gauge into this port over here. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna do the power on the pump side of stuff. We're going to set a battery there for right now, but I found a 12-volt power supply that converts 277 into 12 volts. So we're just going to set it right in the bottom of that cabinet that we've got on there, and we're going to connect it, and we're going to use that for our 12-volt power supply, and it will work really well. We also, Ryland's power washing for me. Brock, your job's in jeopardy. I also got a battery to set on the Traveler, and I'll probably buy a solar panel charger, little trickle charger or something should be more than sufficient to charge up a battery and keep this thing running. There we go. Thirsty? Okay, we'll get you something to drink. Good job, bud. So I haven't picked a question of the day question yet. Somebody asked me today on today's video though about our other cornfields and are they hurting, and how much of our ground can we irrigate, right? So how much of our ground can we irrigate? Well, we can irrigate this one field that we do. We could, in theory, irrigate more of it, but it would take more systems and more people and more. But the 140 acres of this field that we're irrigating represents close-ish to 10% of our corn. So we're irrigating a fairly sizable portion of it, just not a huge number of fields and places. This is one of our other cornfields that is not irrigated. Is it hurting? Yes, it is hurting. Is it terribly bad hurting? No. But it is rolling up. It is suffering some drought symptoms. Here's the thing though. There's differences between this field and that field. And I know that they're right across the river and you can say, well, what do you mean? How can there be that big of a difference? Well, the reason we irrigate this field that we do, any chance that we can, is because it has more sand on it than anything else that we farm. We have one other field that's got some sand, or some significant sand, but it's only 65 acres and this one's 170 and we can irrigate 140 of it. So we come here and the sand is going to dry out faster than the clay ground or the heavier ground will. And so this field that we do irrigate shows symptoms of drought worse, more severe, and earlier than the rest of our fields will. Also, I know that I'm going to irrigate this field going into the year. And so I do things up here with that in mind that I don't do anywhere else. Things like plant the corn ridiculously thick. And when I say ridiculously thick, I mean I planted some of this stuff at over 40,000 plants per acre. That is very, very thick. And so it needs water. It needs a lot of water to support that many plants. And so this field is always going to take or show symptoms and be under more stress than any of the other ones, especially if I wouldn't water it, because I push it harder than all the other ones. On the rest of my fields, if I get 200 bushel the acre, I am thrilled. On this one, if we're not at least 250, pushing 300 in spots, I'm going to be pretty upset. But it's because I have that water and because we're putting this extra fertilizer on and we're putting all these extra plants out there and stuff, that I can push those yields and push the boundaries of what our ground is capable of. So it's not an apples to apples comparison when you compare this to other fields. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right, so there's not a lot that I can do here until the pump shuts off. I can't pull the pressure plug out because, well, yeah, it would create quite a mess. But we can take this down. So I got a impact and we can pull that down and we can mount the new box up there. I have a feeling this one's going to come out too. So once the pump shuts down, we can get most of this installed, I think. So this is our box. We're going to mount it right there, just like that. Maybe just like that so we can reuse one of our holes. I don't know. Anyway, it comes with some self-tappers. It comes with some ring terminals for this is the power cable that attaches to the bottom of that and to our 12-volt power. And so for right now, that's going to be a battery. But like I said, we're going to get a power supply. Again, don't touch anything. We're going to set it right in there on the bottom. We're going to tap into one of our hot legs into our ground, provide 277 to the power supply, and it'll give us our 12 volts out of there. And then all we got to do is run a cord out. We can even use that hole there. We'll put a strain relief on there because we got a couple wires to come out. Yeah, that'll work really well, actually. Okay, that is mounted. I actually just used 2 bolts there. That'll work. Pretty much need the pump to shut off now. Not much more I can do. I can get the pressure sensor out and ready here, I guess. This plugs into the bottom. We can plug that in, but I didn't bring a battery for here, so. We can do a little bit on the traveler side of it, so we're gonna run down there. That is a long way to pump water. All right, so this obviously has to get attached into here. I'm debating whether we go this way, I don't know. And then we've got this wire, and I kind of unrolled it, whatever, because I wanted to see how long it was going to be. Because we have to find somewhere to mount this box. And ideally, I would mount it either here, which is going to make it hard to get the wires in. Up here, right by the other control box. Could put it back here. Yeah. I'm thinking up here is where we're going to end up with it. That makes the most sense to me. Should be able to anchor it in there, no problem. And as long as that wire will reach, the other one we can put right over here. And we can actually make it really super close. So we need to put some magnets on here, equally spaced, which is going to be a little difficult. Maybe we can use these weld marks as a guide. I'll have to count them. And then, yeah, then we got to mount our sensor probably to this arm or something. Okay, so we have good news, bad news thing here, right? The good news is our entire side panel is a metal plate and it's all magnetic. So we've got these little magnets. They're flat little magnets that have to stick to this. White side has to go out. They all have a white stripe on them, except for this one that I just wore it off because it stuck the wrong way, and then I scraped it to get it off and it wore off, but it's okay. I know what side's the white side. I have placed one up there. Our side panel here is kind of divided into quarters. Really, it's 2 quarters and a half. And I was trying to figure out if there are any equal divisions. We have 16 magnets. It says you have to use at least 8 of them. I would think more is better, right? So I'm trying to figure out how to use them all and get them equally spaced. We might have to break out the tape measure, which I did break out. But I was looking at the bolt pattern. There's one right there. There's one that's missing. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The one that's missing. This would be the same. So it would be 5 on a quarter. Well, that would be 20 magnets. So that isn't going to work. To just put one at every bolt hole. So if we wanted 4, we've got to figure out how to measure 4 of them on a quarter, or figure out how many degrees it is and do some trig, which is always fun, to figure out how far apart they should be placed. I bet I can figure this out. To figure out how big our reel is, the diameter, or the radius. I need a circumference. That's what I need, is a circumference divided by 16. That's how many inches apart they need to be. Let me do some math. Okay, here's what I know. Here's our math. Our radius, center out, is 58 inches, which I'm sure is some Canadian measurement for millimeters or centimeters that's not 5 feet at 60 inches, because that would be too easy. But it's 58. Now, I'm going to put these magnets, the end of them, 6 inches in. So that makes our radius 52 inches. Right? That's 6. 6. Okay. So, if we're at 52-inch radius, the formula for diameter, or for circumference, is pi d. So pi times the diameter. So I need to figure out the diameter, which would be 2 times the radius. So 52 times 2 would be 104 times pi. Hold up. 326 inches in the circumference. 326 divided by 16-ish, it's ish, is what did I figure? 20 and 3/8 inches apart. That's what I think it needs to be, 20 and 3/8. So we place our magnets, something like that. We'll see how good of a job I do when I get around to the end, and if the last one is about the same measurement, then we should be in good shape. But yeah, we'll just keep placing them. So they're all here. They got these fancy little plastic clips in there to keep them from sticking too hard to each other. Like I said, white side goes out. So I'm measuring 20 and 3/8, sticking it, and then making sure we're the 6 inches off and trying to get them aligned so that they're facing right to the center. Feels like I'm probably off a little bit. Seems like they should be directly across from each other. And that one's right on the crack, and that one's not. May not be doing as good a job as I thought I was. My math may be off a little bit. I don't know how critical it is that they're perfect, you know? I don't know. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. You want them close, I would assume. Well, I got one more. We'll see. We'll see how close we are. It doesn't look terrible. I mean, we got to be pretty close. Yeah, my last gap's off a little bit. We're at about 16 inches. So I think what I'll go do is go through and put them all at 20 inches apart instead of 20 and 3/8. That ought to take up some of that, and I'm going to call that close enough. If we've got a wrap left. I don't know if we got a whole wrap left. I'm running out of traveler hose to be able to get it done. All right, we've gone all the way around. I've done to this one. I've just got that one more to move that should, we'll see what the gap is then. I also got this arm mounted, so our sensors or our magnets are going right past the sensor. It says it needs to be about 1 inch away from it. I may be a little close, but I think we can just bend this in a little bit if it doesn't work like it's supposed to, but I think it'll be fine. I also got our T put in here and our pressure sensor installed. So we got to route that wire over here to the box, which I have installed. All right, let's check this last one. And if we hold our tape there, 20, sweet. All right, they are very evenly spaced now. Sweet. Okay, well, we're almost done with the install on this side. Just got to set the battery here and get the power connected to it. All right, so I've been routing this wire coming from the pressure sensor over there. It comes down along, follows the existing wiring of the Traveler, and we go up there to our box. The wire was just the right length, which is good because we don't have any extra, but it couldn't have been much farther away. Now, I can just get out of here. Ugh. Crawling in the dry dirt's better than crawling in the mud that's on the other side. Okay, next up here. Power. I did buy a battery, and they give you these little ring terminals to put on there, so we will do that and put the nuts on. Those are really small wires, so it can't draw very many amps or very much power. This battery ought to last the whole freaking season. I shouldn't even need a solar charger. All right, well, we've got all the hardware installed. There are a lot of measurements that we need to take in order to configure this and then go to their website here and get it set up. So we're going to go ahead and do that and see if we can't get at least this part of it working. Okay, so 7A, hose diameter. Measure the exterior diameter of the hard hose. This width here, which I already did, but we'll do it again. It's 5 inches. It is 5 inches. 5. Okay. Spool width. Total width of the reel measured from the outside edge on one side of the reel to the outside edge of the hose on the opposite side. Looks like you measure all the way across. Okay. So that would be from here over to that one. 71.25 inches. Okay, 7C, outer hose wrap radius. So we got to measure from the center to here. So we can try and do that on the outside. We're almost flush. It's going to be close to 58 inches because I already know that. Yeah. Outer hose wrap radius. Let's see if there's a picture. Yeah. All right, let me measure. We're calling it 57 inches. This This was going to be a short video today too. We're not short anymore, are we? Number of outer hose wraps. Number of the complete wraps on the last layer of the reel with the hose is fully coiled on the reel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I would say it's 11. Let's count over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. I mean, it starts right there. We're going to say it's 11. Number of magnets, 16. Sprinkler configuration. Sprinkler type is a gun. Nozzle diameter, 1.28 inches. It's 32.5 millimeter, I think it was. If the sprinkler is a gun, there's only one nozzle. One total width of the land that is irrigated by the sprinkler in a single pass. 370 feet. Okay, so now I'm going to go to their website. I have to do it on my phone. I didn't bring my GoPro, so I can't show it to you. And we'll enter all this stuff. Well, we've got a blinking light. I don't know what that means. There's a power button on the side. I pushed it, but the light was blinking before I pushed it, and it's still blinking, so I don't know. I got the information entered. We're going to go ahead and get this thing spun around because we got to water whether it works or not. Oh, we had a different color light, and we got a GPS light blinking now. I'll have to pull up the website and see if it says anything, but we're going to pull a gun out. With any luck, it'll tell me how far I've pulled it out. All right, we are back at the pump. We are going to start it up. Yeah, we're going to start it up and run it. We're not going to worry about installing the stuff here on the pump side of it right now, partially because I don't want to take the time to do it right now, and partially because, well, I don't really want to disconnect my timer until I know that at least the stuff on the reel is going to work. I don't 100% trust it yet, so the timer is reliable. Okay, so we got our pump running. We are in the very last lane. What we should be doing now is, when this lane is done tonight in a few hours, coming down here and starting on this end of the field. We have a lane that just goes to the east here, right there. That's where we should go. That's a short pull. In the interest of getting some semblance of sleep tonight and not having to move that thing twice during the middle of the night, I'm calling a little bit of an audible. We're going to do something just a little bit different. My pattern is a little different this year than what I've done in the past. Usually we start where we're at right now and work our way this way until we get all the way across the field. This year I started kind of in the middle and we work north, and now we're going to come to the south and work back to the middle and then just start over. The reason I did that, there was a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to start off with a full pull to get all the hose off the reel, and I was testing my lights out and that kind of stuff. Two, where we started is where my corn growers entry contests are, and I wanted them to get water first and not to be sitting here now stressed because I haven't watered them yet 4 days later, 5 days later. So they'll always just be the first stuff that gets, the pass. They'll be the first ones to get done the second time when we get to it. Anyway, what that's kind of prevented me from doing, and what I've done in the past, is usually when I get to a certain point as I'm working my way to the south here, I'll stop and pull the gun right down my center lane, because you'll notice that water shoots a long ways. And when you shoot that water a long ways, the stuff right underneath where the gun sits doesn't always get watered. It's kind of a semicircle of a pattern, and some of it does and some of it doesn't. So I figured if I pull out during the middle, then I get all that stuff that I missed the first time. Well, I can't really do that now the way I've been working, because it's where my lane is, where I'm driving, and as you can see, it's already wet enough here. I don't need to get this wetter, but I think I can actually make this work on my way back. So we'll just hook up to one of these pipes somewhere in the middle here, maybe this one, and we'll pull it out that way, maybe the one behind us, and we'll go right down the middle here, and that will catch a lot of this corn like that's curled up and rolling, even though I've already watered here, but I didn't hit the stuff right underneath the traveler. So we're gonna make that pull later tonight. It'll be a full pull or very close to it, and so that means it's a 10-hour pull, and I'll be able to sleep for a little while. So we're just going to leave the tractor there because we'll have to pull past it and then pull the tractor out and pull the gun back that way. I'm trying to remember if I got 370-foot lane spacings. 3 lanes isn't quite enough. I need 4 to get it all the way out, but I won't make it all the way. But yeah, we're going to save this corn. So plus it means I only had to walk half the distance instead of, I would have had to park the tractor clear down in that first lane and walk all the way down here if I didn't do it this way. Anyway. Okay, well, if I ran this one in at my 2 inches or 24 inches a minute, 2 feet a minute, it would be like 12:30 at night when it gets done. It was 470-ish feet. I decided to speed it up a little bit, make it 11:45. That's just slightly better. I should be home and in bed before 1 by doing that and getting the next run started up. So I don't know about this thing. I'm not sure what's going on here. I tried turning it off and turning it back on. That status light blinks green like that. I looked up the troubleshooting. It's supposed to turn a bluish color when it actually is connecting. So I don't know if it doesn't have cell service or if something's not quite right. I don't know. I was going to look and see the sensor light up there in the corner should light up when these magnets go by if it's sensing them. So I've been meaning to watch that and I haven't yet. The GPS light was blinking a little bit ago. It's not now. Let's see. Nope, never saw it blink. All right, let me try and hold it a little closer and the next one goes around. Well, we've got a GPS light now. Here comes another one. I'm kind of bending it in. Let's see what happens. Still didn't see a sensor light up. I don't know. I might have to call them. Probably not open tomorrow. It's a Saturday. I'm sure they're watching this. Let me know what I'm doing wrong, guys. On the bright side, we didn't cause any leaks. We got 130 pounds of pressure. So this side's all working well. All right, let's go home. Oh yeah, pump timer. Go set the pump timer, don't forget. All right, our timer's set. We're pretty much gonna drain the rest of the old fertilizer on the cart there, but we've got the rest of that, or all of that stuff we just got today sitting there. So I'm going home. I'm not filming more tonight unless, again, something super exciting happens. I will be tomorrow though. We're gonna be irrigating all day tomorrow. I'm not doing anything else, so I'll work on that and that's it. And it's Saturday, so hopefully we'll get this pump side of it put on there, and hopefully it'll start working, or we'll figure out what we're doing wrong there and make it communicate, because I think this system is going to be really cool. I want to thank the guys from Coda Farm Tech, the Farm HQ, people that make it. They actually reached out to me. They reached out to me a year ago because they had seen my videos from this irrigation stuff 2 years ago, and I had never heard of it, never seen their product and stuff. Now, we didn't end up irrigating last year, so I kind of put it off, and then I reached out to them again here 3 or 4 weeks ago about the stuff because I was really interested in it. They've been good to work with. I told them I would make sure to let everybody know what I thought of it, and good or bad, you're gonna find out. So if it works, I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited for it and to make it work. I'm a little concerned right now as to why it's not communicating and stuff, but we're gonna get it set up and figure this out. So thanks to them. I've put a link to their website down below. I'll do that in a few videos here, and if you have any interest, you guys use the Travelers and you're interested, watch a few of my videos and then go check them out. So thanks everybody. Questions, comments, leave them down below. If you would hit that like, subscribe button. I'm sorry for these long videos. I was really trying to keep today's under 20 minutes. I don't know what we're at, but I'm sure it's over 20 minutes. So I know most of you don't mind, but I don't like to keep dragging them out like I'm doing right now. Good night.